You're here and I'm queer and welcome back to my channel. Something wicked is upon us, so make sure you watch part 1 before this one, since pink goes good with green. For this video, we will be making Glinda the Good Witch. I cannot believe I'm making 2 dolls, but again, the hype really got my head spinning. So no sleep and rest for the wicked. I mean, the good. Also, making them together as a 2-part special felt apropos for the movie as well. I love how Glinda looks overall, but I think I want to push the camp and glamour for her even further. Since I gave my Elphaba a really strong silhouette, I wanted Glinda to be soft, light, and rounded, like she's really wearing a bubble dress. I really wanted to play with her ball gown shape and root it in historical fashion. Glinda has some Rococo elements that I wanted to showcase, and I wanted to add puffy sleeves to her to reference her original dress from The Wizard of Oz. Bubbles were really the main motif for her overall dress, and I think she's gonna look super glamorous. I'm so excited for Miss Glinda, and with that being said, let's get started. There's so many official Wicked dolls that's being released, but I feel like something is missing in the glam and magic department. And to be fair, most mass-produced dolls nowadays aren't really giving the je ne sais quoi, at least for me. But not to worry, we will give her that extra oomph, if you know what I mean.
I feel like the face mold of this doll is absolutely beautiful. She just kind of looks shook for some reason.
I do want to give this doll a little cinch in the waist since the fabric of the costume will add a little bulk, and for that, I will do the boiling water method. This method is sometimes unpredictable, but I think I got lucky this time.
If you guys are trying this, just be very careful because you can ruin a doll super easily, and you can also hurt yourself because of the hot water.
Now it's time for her face. Of course, I will be doing my best to capture Ariana Grande's face. However, please remember that I am not an expert on realism. I think the general consensus is that Ariana's skin, makeup, and hair are all too similar in tones and hue, so I'm going to try and add more contrast to her makeup and really exaggerate her overall glam.
Let's remove her factory paint using acetone. You may also use nail polish remover if it has acetone in it. After that, you want to make sure that the face is dry and spray Mr. Super Clear on it as a primer. So now we can finally draw on it using our watercolor pencils. For Miss Glinda, I am drawing her looking to her right because I drew Elphaba looking to the left. You know, I kind of wanted them to look at each other. I really want to capture Ariana Grande's new makeup look because it's actually kind of unique for her. And it's definitely her most updated makeup. It's just lacking in color. So we are going to try and bring the color and the contrast back to her face. I definitely tried my best to be as natural and light-handed with this overall face up, but you guys know me. I'm like, my natural and light hand is definitely still very, very dramatic to a lot of people. But I love it. I love it. I do. I've noticed that she's been kind of highlighting and contouring her aegyosal, which is like, the lower eye puffy look. And it just adds to her overall makeup look. So I tried to do that as well. Her nose contour and highlighting is very drag queeny, at least for me. And it's kind of super specific, so I'm trying to copy that as well. I think initially the doll was really lacking blush and contouring, so we are going ham with our blush. I mean, I go ham with the blush on me, so I feel like it's apropos that I go ham on the blush with my dolls. And now it's time for the eyeliner. And although Ariana's eye makeup is very subtle and natural, quote unquote, I cannot not do a beautiful wing eyeliner for her, so we're gonna do the wing liner. And of course, the glitter has to take over, I know. exactly what she needs. And that is a lot of highlighter. I am using brown pencil for her lower eyelashes, you know, for the natural look. And of course, we cannot forget about the catch lights and her eyelashes.
Oh my god, I am obsessed with her face. The glam is really glamming, and this expression I feel is so Ariana.
I am super obsessed with this before and after. I mean, look at her. She just looks more alive.
Now let's work on her hairstyle. I'm actually giving her a similar hairstyle that she had in the movie, but a little more 1940s inspired. Vintage 1940s hair in my channel? Groundbreaking.
I pre-curled her hair behind the scenes and now we are doing a beautiful vintage brush out. I actually redid her hairstyle after I filmed this portion because it was a bit too long for the costume, so I ended up cutting her hair into kind of like a vintage horseshoe shape and I redid the entire brush out. So it looks the same, honestly, it's just shorter a bit.
Now let's work on her gown. This last minute project wouldn't be possible without the amazing That Plastic Biz on Instagram. They really did their big one on these dresses, and honestly, they did their big one because it's a big dress. I really want to thank them for creating this beauty in such short notice. I do need to add some more magic touches to it to make it perfect for Miss Glinda.
I bought a bunch of bubble beads, as you can see, and they are so beautiful. And I bought like multiple sizes of them so I can really play around with the dimension of the bubbles. And I knew that it was perfect for Glinda. Now I'm just gluing them onto her bodice and honestly kind of all over her dress. You know, we're trying to make it a little bit more strategic with the placement, but for the most part, I want the majority of the bubbles to be on her décolletage area. I feel like that will look super elegant. And then everything else will just be glued sporadically, you know, here and there, just so that it has the bubble essence around her gown. As you can see, her skirt right now is super puffy, but these beads are so heavy and it actually weighed down the skirt, so I had to make a backup like tulle skirt underneath to really puff it up even more. But yeah, I mean, the effect is so beautiful. And this is how her bodice looks, and I am super obsessed with the sleeve slash collar detail, her corset, oh my god, the skirt, I love this layer that Plastic Biz did, and oh my goodness, it's just, the dramatics is really dramatic.
Oh my god, this dress is super huge in person. Again, they did their big one. It's like 20 inches wide, and I am obsessed! Her crown is beautifully sculpted, but I do want to add some gems and bubble beads here and there to make it more magical and less plastic looking. I mean, come on, this is Glinda we're talking about. Everything needs to sparkle and shine.
I am adding a wash of pink on top of the crown, just a little bit. It's very subtle, but just to change the overall tone and color of it, I feel like it'll match her costume better. And now we are gluing the bubble beads and gems all over the crown. And at first I was just doing like some swirls here and there, but I was like, why not cover the entire thing with this beauty, with the gems, with the bubble beads? Like, let's just go for it. I was a little bit more careful with the gems though, because in some lighting they look green. You know, they're iridescent of course, but sometimes they look green in like most lighting. So I was like, okay, I can't go too ham with that. And we are finally done with our crown, and as you can see, I left off a little bit of negative spaces here and there, so it's not completely covered, because there is the twinkling star design that I did not want to cover, but oh my god, I'm obsessed with how like glittery and shimmery this is. It's just so magical looking.
Her wand needs some magic touches as well. just a bit to really add to it. It's kind of difficult to really customize a lot of Glinda's accessories because they are all translucent, and I want to keep it as translucent as much as I can.
I'm doing the same thing by adding the beads and also the gems all over her scepter or her wand. And as you can see, this actually has a pink tone to it. That's why I wanted to paint her crown a little bit pink as well, so that they both will match. And it just looks super magical, and I just love it.
Her shoes aren't supposed to be translucent like the dolls, but I actually love that it is. I think it adds more magical vibes to it, but I do want to give it a bit more details to enhance it. Just a little something something, you know?
I actually sprayed a lot more glitter onto the shoe just to really add to it, and then we are gluing some gems and the bubble beads as well. I really tried to make her shoes a little bit more simple, and I didn't want to go too overboard with gluing stuff on it. And I actually really love this shoe. I feel like the bubbles are adding so much magic to it.
For her nails, I am keeping them as is, but of course, we have to give her some polish. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know that glam is the name and drama is the game. We all know that Glinda loves to travel inside of a huge bubble. And so of course I had to get her a huge bubble. This is actually an outdoor lampshade, and I was so excited when I found this. They come in different sizes, and this one I believe is 16 inches. She fits so perfectly in it, and I'm super excited for you guys to see. Now it's time to put her together.
I'm giving her earrings that I made using the bubble beads that I have, and as you can see, it's just perfect for her. And this is the new hair that I cut and styled, and yes, I sprayed everything with glitter. I mean, look at that. You cannot give her glitter on her hair. It's really a need for Glinda. I am super happy with this doll, and I'm super excited for you guys to see the final look. I really wanted to reference the original movie with this gown, and I just wanted her to be so dramatic and campy and just big. And I think we really did that with this one. And I almost forgot to give her some gloss for her lips, so we are doing that right now. Oh my god. And now we're finally done with Glinda the Good. If you missed it, please make sure you also watch part 1 for all the wickedness.